Hi, everybody. It's Deborah from peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching my video today. Today's video is called, What is the Best Food for a Cat? We are on my website, peoplelovinganimals.com. I'm going to use this article called, Which Food is Best for Cats? For our video today, I'm not going to read you this article, but I'm going to use the video to go through to make sure that I'm hitting all the points on this topic. If you have not been here before, welcome. Like I say, have a website called peoplelovinganimals.com, which has hundreds of blog posts and articles all about the health and training and care of cats and dogs. So if you're interested in that topic, I would love it if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you a chance to subscribe to my cat lovers email list if you would like, where I send weekly emails, again, all about the care and health and training of cats. If you're on the cat lovers email list, I also have a dog lovers email list. I would love it if you would visit my website, and I would love it if you would share my website and this YouTube channel with other animal lovers. And we do help animal charities, which I'll talk about a little at the end of this video. Now, for those of you who have been here before, you know that what I usually do is I usually use an article that I've written. I've researched a certain topic, and I use that to make my video, and I kind of go through the points in the article, and then I give you the option, if you want to go to the article and read the whole thing, you can. In this particular video, I'm strongly recommending that you do actually go to the article and read it. In the description box of this video, I'm going to give you the link to this article so that you can. And the reason that I'm saying that is this particular article is quite detailed, and I don't want to, waste your time in this video going over all these details, but it's just really chock full of a lot of really important information about nutrition for cats. So I'm going to go through the article quickly just to kind of give you an overview and give you some tips to get started. But I am going to recommend that you click in the link that I give you in the description box, and when you get time, actually read this article, okay? So this is the picture I picked out for the article, and I think he's so cute. It's like he's sitting there waiting for dinner. Cats are so cute, I can barely even stand it. Anyway, let's talk about some points. Obviously, nutrition is just as important for a cat as it is for a human. They say you are what you eat, and it is true for animals as well. It's important that we're eating well for our health. We're eating a diet that's really good for us, that's going to benefit us in the long run, that's going to prolong our life, a diet that's going to prevent medical problems. And these are all things that are true for people. It's just as true for your pet, okay? Now, one of the biggest questions that comes up when we're talking about what is the best food for a cat is, should I feed my cat dry food or canned food? Now, my answer is both, but let me explain. In this article, there's tons of information supporting feeding cats canned food. And the most important reason for that is that cats need the moisture. They need a moist diet. That's the most important reason why you should be feeding your cat canned cat food or moist cat food instead of dry. But the reason I say both is, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to make the bulk of their diet canned cat food, whether they get a can of food every day, if they get canned food in the morning, at night, whatever your schedule is for whatever your vet recommends for the amount that your cat should eat every day. The bulk of their diet should be the canned food. As far as dry food, I think it's a good idea to just leave some crunchies in a bowl for the cat, because if you're coming home from work late, I had a cat, I'm going to show you a picture of her, I'm going to talk about her in this article, where she had, she would leave like 4 or 5 crunchies, little pieces of dry cat food in her dish. She would never, ever, ever eat those last 4 or 5 crunchies. And if her food got down to 4 or 5 crunchies in her dish, she was like a siren. She would meow, 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 come get you in the house, wherever you are. She would have a fit until I would refill her bowl. So obviously, she had some kind of an emotional trauma. Even though the cat never missed a meal her entire life, I owned her for 20 years. She never missed a meal. She literally was 20 years old when she died. But she never went a day without a meal. But for some reason, she seemed to have a fear of not having food. So for that reason, I think it's a good idea to just have a little bowl of crunchies down, even if it's just a few, just so that the cat is okay and the cat feels like there's food in the house and not maybe so desperately waiting for its mealtime. I don't know. I just think psychologically and emotionally for the cat, it's a good idea to have a little dry food down all the time. And also, I worry about people who, it's a wonderful thing to feed your cat canned food. That's what they should be eating. But say if your cat gets a can of food at supper time every night, and when you get home from work, well, if you get into a car accident or if you have some sort of a delay, if you're stuck in traffic, if you get a call and you have to rush to the hospital because somebody's there, or even if you're way longer than you thought doing your errands or whatever, the poor cat is home waiting to eat. So I don't like it when cats, whether or not a cat is fed is dependent on whether you make it home at a certain time every day. So that's another reason why I do suggest putting a little dry cat food in a bowl for your cat, just for these kinds of things. So there's something available for the cat. Okay. But that being said, that's the end of it as far as I'm concerned for dry food. Just a few crunchies for the cat. That's it. The bulk of their diet should be canned food. And the number one reason is because cats need, they need a moist diet. Now, we're just going to talk about this. Again, there's a lot of information here. I'd like you to go in and read the article if you would, please. Why do we feed dry food to cats? Well, for two reasons. One is because the pet food companies make dry cat food out of cheap grains like corn that are super cheap. The cat food is cheap. The dry cat food is cheaper. Also, it's more convenient. It's easier to just keep the cat's dish full of dry cat food than mess with the cans of cat food. You know, a lot of people complain that cat food is smelly and the cans are smelly and they're dirty and all this kind of stuff. Well, you know what? Your food smells too. Your dishes are dirty. We got to wash our own dirt. I mean, would you just open up a bag of dry food and eat out of it every day yourself? Because you didn't want to do the dishes or you didn't want any sort of smell. Do you know what I mean? Like, food is food. You got to dirty a dish to eat it. You know what I mean? So, but I do understand. I mean, I've had many cats over my life. I've always worked full time. It's hard, to, keep track of everything or whatever. But for the most part, your cat should be getting moist food every day. And also, Fancy Feast makes these little, they make food in a can, but they also make these little packets that are, they're like I'm going to say like a paper container, and they just don't seem to smell as bad. I don't know why. I don't know why that is, but you could try different brands, but be careful. Don't switch your cat's food too often, but find something that they like, and give it to them. So that's generally why we feed the dry food. It's cheaper and it's more convenient. But one of the things you do have to realize is that even though the dry food might be cheaper, you're going to save money in the long run with health bills, with veterinary bills for your cat. And I'm going to talk to you about that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk about it right now. Here she is in the article. Here's my cat. Here's the one I'm talking about that she would get upset if there was not any crunchies. Now, sadly for this cat, I had this cat for 20 years. For the bulk of her life, I fed her dry cat food. I did not know. I did not realize there was a difference. I didn't know that it mattered. Unfortunately, I did not learn that it mattered until this cat developed kidney disease. And the vet educated me and said, dry cat food does not have enough moisture for your cat, and it does not have the right kind of protein for your cat. Also, the dry cat food has way too many carbohydrates, thus the fat cat. Now, unfortunately, I did not know this. Now, this cat died of kidney disease, all right, which according to my vet could have been prevented had she been given a moist diet her whole life instead of the dry food. Also, her weight never became an issue, meaning she never actually became diabetic, but she certainly could have, being a fat cat her whole life. And part of the reason that she was fat was because she was eating the dry food, which is much too high in carbohydrates. And I also have to say, the kidney disease that this cat died from was not only from the lack of moisture, but it was also because her kidneys could not, they couldn't process certain types of protein So she had to go on a prescription food that had a specific kind of protein that her kidneys could process. And again, had she been given animal protein that comes in, the canned cat food instead of plant-based protein, which comes in the dry cat food, her kidneys would not have developed this condition. Okay, so it is important. What we're talking about, it is important. And kidney disease is not the only illness that can be prevented by feeding a cat wet food instead of dry food. So what's wrong with feeding your cat dry food? First, the water content in dry food is way too low, obviously. Second, the carbohydrate content in dry food is way too high, can lead to obesity, diabetes, all kinds of things. Third, the dry cat food doesn't have the right type of protein. Like I said, the dry cat foods are mostly made out of grains, so they have plant-based protein. Cats don't go out to a field and eat grass. They go out to a field, they catch a mouse, and they eat the mouse. They need the animal protein, okay? Cats don't live on grass, okay? They live on meat. They live on protein. That's their natural species appropriate diet, okay? So that's the difference. The dry cat food has plant-based proteins, and the canned cat food has meat-based, animal-based proteins, okay? And there's other negative issues with dry cat food. Unfortunately, cat food, dog treats, cat treats, there's so much crap in them. There's just so much crap in them. Just like people food. I often wonder why we have the FDA at all, because the stuff that's sitting on the supermarket shelves right now that has been proven, for example, to cause cancer, it's just an issue. So the more natural, whole foods you're feeding your cat, the real thing, real food, not something processed in a bag. Do you know what I mean? Not to mention the fact, if you ever considered this, a bag of cat food can sit on a store shelf for 10 years and still be good. Well, what does that tell you? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not real food. If it lasts forever and it never molds, it never gets stinky, it never deteriorates, it's not real food, because real food does deteriorate. Do you know what I mean? So, just the crap that's in the dry food. Now, you might say, but my cat seems to be doing just fine on dry cat food. Well, your friend seems to be doing just fine smoking that cigarette. Just because the cat doesn't drop over dead when she eats her food, and just because the smoker doesn't drop over dead when she's smoking the cigarette, doesn't mean that it's good for him. I know it's kind of a dramatic statement to make, but that I'm just trying to make the point. The negative effects of eating a poor diet catch up with you over time. And then unfortunately, by the time they do catch up with you and you start showing symptoms, often it's too late. You can't eat a bad diet, for your first 30 years. And then when you turn 35, you decide you're starting to eat healthy. Well, that's a really great thing, and better late than never. And your health is going to be better for it, but you can't erase the last 30 years, and you can't erase the damage that has been done. Similarly, say, to smoking. You can smoke for 25 years and then quit, and for the rest of your life you don't smoke. Well, that's wonderful. Absolutely, of course. But you can't erase the damage that was done with the 25 years of smoking. And the same is true with your diet, and the same is true with your cat's diet. So, your cat maybe, seems fine on the dry cat food. Maybe they're thriving and healthy, but, I don't know about you, but when I was in my 20s, when I think about the way I ate, my sleeping habits, all these kinds of things, when you're young, your body is resilient. Your body can function in spite of. But as you get older and as your cat gets older, you're going to see the price that they're eventually going to pay for not having a diet that is healthy for them. again, I'm going to ask you to read this article because I don't want to just bore you by reading this. But again, every living creature appears to be fine until the signs of a disease start to show themselves. A cat who is consuming too many carbohydrates might seem fine until she begins to gain weight or begins to exhibit signs of diabetes. A cat who has a blocked urinary tract seems fine until she starts to urinate in places other than the litter box. That actually happened to me with a cat. Or until she's passing blood in her urine. Again, as we said earlier, a smoker seems to be fine until they start coughing, they start having difficulty breathing, they start turning yellow, and they're eventually diagnosed, say, with lung cancer. It's too late, by the time the symptoms start. So it is important to just make sure that your cat is on the best diet for them as early in their life as is possible, and you don't want things to catch up with them, and it can be fatal. Okay. Prevention of disease in cats. So many feline diseases can be prevented with a diet that is lower in carbohydrates and balanced, and not the high carbohydrate dry cat foods. The other thing, I put it in red here because I thought it was such a striking fact when I was doing research for this article. Some serious medical issues are extremely uncommon among cats who are fed canned food, especially if extra water is added to the canned food. That's another little trick too. Just this past weekend, I babysat a little cat named Smokey for my girlfriend Susie. Susie was having an estate sale at her house, and I said, oh my God, there's going to be people in it. I said, let me take the cat. So the cat came to stay with me for the weekend, and we had a lot of fun. And this cat knows me very well and trusted me, and we had so much fun together. I love her so much. She's a little sweetie. But she eats Fancy Feast, and she has some in the morning, and then she has some at night. Well, sometimes she doesn't just sit and eat the whole dish of Fancy Feast in the morning. So you can imagine by noon, the Fancy Feast is still there, but it's getting kind of yucky. So I would just add a little water to it, just freshen it up for her. And, throughout the day, she would eat it. But, that's the thing with canned cat food. If it gets kind of dry sitting there on the plate, if they don't eat it all at once, just add a little water to it and freshen it up for them. And then it's better because they end up taking in even more water. And again, I came across this statement when I was doing research for this article that many common health issues in cats are very uncommon in cats who are fed a moist diet. Also, cats don't get thirsty. A vet once told me, the same veterinarian that diagnosed my cat's kidney disease and kind of educated me on all of this, he once told me that you can present a cat with a bucket full of water and she'll drink a thimbleful. They don't go to the water dish and slurp, slurp, slurp like a dog does. You give a dog a bowl of water, they'll slurp half the bottle down or half the bowl down. If you give a cat a bowl of water, they'll drink a thimbleful. They don't get thirsty. They don't drink. They need to get their water from their food. That's where they get their water. So if they're only eating dry food, and they're not going to be drinking enough water, they're just not getting enough water. Okay. Even if the water dish is available, they're not going to drink it. Cats don't get thirsty like most animals. They don't slurp. They don't gulp. They don't drink like most animals do. Okay. This talks about the carbohydrates and how they can wreak havoc on your blood sugar and so forth. The concept that dry food helps with dental health is a myth. It's just not true. Most dry cat food, it just disintegrates. It just crumbles. Most cats don't chew their food, like chew. Cats and also most dogs, they only chew it enough to get it down their throat. So in other words, most of the little pieces of dry cat food, they're chewed up maybe 3 chews to get it down the throat. That's how animals eat. They only chew things enough to get it down their throat. Now you can imagine, and this is gross, but you gotta think of your animal as an animal. That's what they are. Like, for example, if your cat goes out in the field and catches a mouse and he's going to eat it, if this is a cat that's living out in the wild, like they did, originally, if the cat's going to go out and he's going to catch mice for food, Is he going to catch the mouse, cut it into bites, and chew every bite? No, he's going to swallow the thing. He's going to get it down his throat. That's what they do. So animals don't. I know you see your cat chewing the dry cat food while they're eating, but they're generally just taking the pieces in and chewing each piece to get it small enough to go down their throat. That's all they do. So basically, they're not chewing it that much. It's not really cleaning their teeth, and also the pieces just crumble in their teeth, so it's not really scraping off any plaque or anything. Feeding your cat chunks of meat will do a good job of cleaning their teeth, as will brushing their teeth if you're brave enough, if you're not going to get your face ripped off. Depending on how tolerant the cat is, but you can brush a cat's teeth. And if you want to know how, I'm sure if you look on YouTube, I'm sure you'll see videos on how to brush your cat's teeth. But when it comes to dental health, ask your vet if you're concerned about that. And but that's not a reason. That's not a reason to give your cat dry food. Is canned cat food more expensive? Yup, it is. And that's one of the reasons that most people, choose to give the dry cat food, because it's cheaper. Cat food is generally more expensive than dry food. However, when you consider the hundreds of thousands of dollars you'll spend on treatment for your cat's inevitable health issues caused by a lifelong diet of dry food, you'll see that it's clear that feeding the canned food from the start is the most cost-effective decision. Keep in mind, the cheapest canned cat food is better for your cat than any dry food on the market. I'm going to say that again. The cheapest canned cat food is better for your cat than any dry food. It's that important. Okay, so if you need to get an inexpensive brand of canned cat food, then do it. Even if you have to do half and half, where you give dry food, but you're always also giving some canned food, add some water to the canned food, get the moisture in your cat's diet. It really is important. I'm going to recommend this book to you if you want more information on what should cats eat. It's written by a veterinarian, and she actually gives a list of her approved brands of cat food in this book, and it's just very educational. If you're a person that wants to really research the issue, I'm going to recommend this book for you. In this article, I'm giving you the link to it. I'll also give you the link to it in the description box of the video. And then also, I'm excited to recommend this one for you. You could make your cat's food yourself. Now, that's something you can save a ton of money by doing that. This is a book called Real Food for Healthy Dogs and Cats. I bought this book, and I was concerned with my elderly dachshund, Taz. And if you go up to the front of my website here, this is little Taz here. Unfortunately, I've lost Taz. She passed away in 2016, but I loved her. Loved her so much. But I came across this book when I was researching the best food for my little dog, because she was having a lot of health issues and I wanted to do the best I could for her. So I bought this book and I read it. And there's, obviously there's a section in there for dogs. There's a section in there for cats. And I did actually end up making food for Taz, my dachshund. But here's what I want to tell you. I found the book, I don't know how to say this. I don't want to say I found the book too hard. The book was easy to read or whatever. But when you are feeding your animal, there's certain things they need. There are certain things in their diet that they need. So I thought, I can cook her vegetables and meat and everything. And, she's going to be fine. And okay, fine, the cat or the cat or the dog probably wouldn't die if you're just feeding them that. But there's things like, for example, bone meal. When dogs and cats, they eat a mouse, they eat what they're supposed to eat to live on. They're chomping up the bones. This is gross, but they also need fiber, which they normally get from the fur. Eating a mouse or whatever they eat, they normally get fiber from the fur. So if they're not eating mice, if they're not eating their primal diet, then they need those things. And so cat food manufacturers and dog food manufacturers are going to put those things in because the animal needs it. So if you're cooking food for your pet yourself, you got to know all that stuff. I personally found that stuff confusing in this book. I was a little too nervous to do it. I didn't really trust myself to do it right. Now, maybe you're going to read this book and you'll latch on and you'll understand all of it completely and you'll be totally confident in doing it. I just was nervous. So what I ended up doing was I gave my dachshund Taz canned dog food every day, but I also cooked for her. And oh boy, did she love it. And I ended up getting more and more recipes and all these things. And, I would cook her up like chicken breast and everything bland, obviously. You don't put salt and pepper, butter, you don't do all the stuff, that you do for yourself. Some of the things I would make her is I would cook up chicken breast just plain in water. I would just like boil it, and vegetables. Dogs love vegetables. I didn't try this with a cat. I didn't get the book for the cat. I got the book for the dog. So I would love it if you do get this book and you start making some things for your cat. Please come back to the article or come back to the video and comment and let us know, because I want to know, what kinds of things did you make for your cat, and, how did your cat like it? Because, cats are a lot more finicky, than dogs. Dogs pretty much eat anything. But my dog really liked it. And I just, I cooked meat for her, and I gave her vegetables. I gave her fruits. She loved blueberries. What else? She loved broccoli. She loved tomato slices. She loved sweet potatoes. There was just all kinds of things. And I found it really fun. And I felt so good about it because I was cooking her these healthy meals that I knew just were really good for her. So this might be something you want to check into. Get the book and see, educate yourself about making food for your cat. And, maybe that's a way you could save money if you need to save money on feeding your cat. It's more expensive to feed the canned cat food than the dry food. But if you're supplementing with meals that you're making for your cat, that's, super cheap because it's just all groceries you have in your house anyway, then that might be a way that you could afford it. And then it'll be just kind of a nice little bonding experience for your cat when you're cooking for her. That's how I felt about my dog. I was so happy to cook for her, and she would get so excited, and she loved everything I made for her. And it was just really wonderful. So I just wanted to recommend that book. And again, I'll give you the link. You've got the link here in this article, and I'm also going to give you the link in the description box. So again, I'm going to ask you to please click into the link I give you for this article, read the whole article, make sure you're getting all the information. And there's your answer. What's the best food for cats? Canned cat food instead of dry. And there's all the details regarding that are in this article, and more so in the book that I just referred you to. So I love so much that you care about your cat enough to go online and watch a video about the best way to feed your cat. I am so happy when people love their animals and when people take care of their animals. It makes me so happy. Even just like driving down the street and I see somebody walking a little dog and the dog's wearing a coat. I love it. I just love so much when people love their animals. And that's why I started my website, peoplelovinganimals.com. I started back in 2015. Now, a couple more things. I do donate to animal charities, as I mentioned in the beginning. On my website, I research a whole variety of topics. There are hundreds of articles now on my website. I've been doing this for several years, all about the training of dogs and cats, the health of dogs and cats, and the care of dogs and cats. And while I'm researching topics, I'm also recommending certain products or services that have to do with whatever the topic is. Like, for example, in this particular video, I've given you 2 books that I'm recommending to you on the topic that we're talking about. And I'm giving you the link to buy the book. And I am an affiliate for Amazon. So if you go and you buy the book on Amazon, I get a small commission. It's like 4%. So there's a variety of things. For example, I've researched health insurance for animals. Here's one here, Pet Plan. I've researched cat training programs. This is the one I recommend up here, Ultimate Cat Secrets. I've researched dog training programs. I researched products, medications. Where's the best place to buy the cheapest get the cheapest price on your pet's medications, all these things. I've researched all these things. I write articles about it, then I make videos out of the articles. And so I get a commission for a lot of these products, not all of them, but for a lot of the products and services that I end up recommending, I get a commission. Number one, that's how I make a living. That's how I do this as my job. Also, I donate 10% of all of the commissions that I make on my peoplelovinganimals.com website and also on this YouTube channel to animal charities. And if you go to the link that I give you in the article, or if you just go to the homepage of my website, you will see a list of the animal charities that I donate to. So if you're going to buy products and services and all kinds of things, pet insurance, training programs, even dog food, cat food, flea medicine, whatever you're going to buy, if you do it through my links, then 10% of the commission that I earn on that will be donated to an animal charity. And for that reason and many other reasons, I'm going to ask you to please share my website and my YouTube channel with your friends and family members who have dogs and cats, because every purchase that is made benefits animal charities. And also, you know what, they might just need help. I've got tons of articles and videos all about all kinds of issues that people have, dog training issues, aggressive dogs, dogs who bite, how to get your cat to stop biting, what to do if your cat won't pee in the litter box, like all kinds of things. So please refer, because especially if you have a friend who's having a problem with their dog or cat, because chances are the information is on my website already. So I do donate to animal charities. You can click in here if you would like more articles about pet health. You can click around my YouTube channel if you would like more videos about cats. Also, as I mentioned before, in the description box of this video, I'm going to give you a link where you can click to sign up for my cat lovers email list. And as a result of signing up, I'm going to email you a little cat training book, How to Stop Bad Cat Behavior. It's a cute little book. It's all about cat behaviors and how to stop them. So if you're having any issues with your cat, it's free information as my gift to you for subscribing to my email list. And then, like I said, just about once a week or so, you'll get an email from me all about cats. And that's also a way you can communicate with me. You can comment on any video. Obviously, you can comment on any of my articles on my website, and you can also reply to any of my emails. If you have questions, if you have a topic that you wish I would do a video about, anything like that, I would love to have your feedback, and I would love to be able to communicate with you. So again, thanks so much for watching my video. I hope that you'll subscribe to the channel. I hope you'll share my information, my website, and my YouTube channel with your friends. And I hope you'll sign up for my cat lovers email list. So thank you so much. I hope I've helped. I hope I've given you some good information here so that you can feed your cat the best diet, the best nutrition that you can give for your cat. And again, it warms my heart that you want to do it. It really, really does. I love people who love animals. So again, my name is Deborah, and my website is peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks again. Bye-bye.